I am an early guy usually, so I hate running late, even if it's just a couple minutes. All right, guys. So there's a lot going on already. From the time we went live 6 hours ago to right now, there's been a couple things going on in the boxing world. Before I get into everything, as you guys are checking in, let me know where you're coming in from. Got to give a shout out to Boxing Fan. He helped me out a little bit on how to join our insider group. You have to do it from a PC. So go to my channel from a PC, from your laptop, and see VIP. See Johnny says boxing member, boxing insider. That's how you join. It's a couple bucks a month. It really helps the channel out. It'll give you insights and an insider's approach to a lot of the boxing bets that we're getting. I got like 5 conversations going on at once right now from boxing insiders in the group that are either on my Instagram or my email. So join that group. It'll give you access, a lot more access and a lot more sort of insights on what's going on in the boxing world. We have a huge week. I'm going to the fights tomorrow night. The odds have opened up on the Australian card, and we usually win a lot of money on the Aussie card. I just uploaded Usyk versus Dubois, my breakdown analysis and prediction. So if you haven't seen that yet, it's under our playlist section, fight predictions. You'll also find tomorrow night's main event, Sonny Bill Williams versus Paul Gallen, under the fight predictions as well. Let's see. Eddie Reynoso releases a statement. So if you follow the channel and go to the post section, I keep everybody up to date as well with boxing breaking news. If I see something interesting going on that I think you boys should know about with fighters or fights, that sort of thing. Eddie Reynoso finally released a statement. On his fighters or fighters that are connected to him testing positive. So, mate, read it. I wanted to know you guys, your take on that after you read it. And I put it up there and I just told you boys, I said, is this facts from Eddie or is this damage control? It doesn't take too much insight to see what he's doing with that, but hey, he released a statement, and what can we do? But we have our business in hand. I really don't care what Eddie says, guys. We're gonna make our own assumptions. I really don't care what Eddie says. I gotta be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? We could get my outlook on Eddie is the same as my outlook on Tank Davis. You know, you could give a guy, you could give a camp, you could give. Think about girls you date or girls you've been or relationships, best friends, any relationship you've had. It gets tiresome after a while when you give somebody an opportunity time and time again, and they can consistently disappoint. So that's why I look at Eddie. That's why I look at Tank. And let's get into us. Let's get into this money. So I posted the 4-leg parlay I'm working on that I'm already invested in for Australia. What's up, boys? Who do you think wins? Chop, I'll get to you in a second, buddy. Barrio, we'll get to that in a second. Chris B, the logical bet is Dubois knockout. We'll get to that in a second. I want to talk about Australia real quick. I posted the bets that I like. They pay. It's a 4-leg parlay in Australia, and it's paying. I don't know if you guys have your betting apps out right now, but I'm going just on the money line, boys. I posted this in our group. You can see it. I'm taking David Nika. Nika fights out of my buddy's camp, Jackson John England. Jackson John England is a guy who just, he has a win over Jamel Herring. He just got elevated. I think John England now is ranked in the top 30 worldwide at 30. He trains. He's in David's camp. David's coming off that loss to Opataya, but rumor is he's looking real great in camp. I'm just taking him on the money line at $1.06. So I got Nika. I got Waterman at $1.19. I'm taking Chris Terjeski at $1.57, and Paul Gallen is the dog at $2.40. 4-leg parlay pays about $5. $100 gets you your money back plus 400. I think I'm going that route. I am going with the same dude I went to Sam Goodman with, the guy that put $1,000 on my 22-1, and he won $22,000. So I'm hoping that lightning strikes twice for him at least. He does really well for himself, and he's a big-time gambler. So I told you guys last time, he watched my bets, and we drew. I met him at a pub, and then we went together to the fights, and then he tells me that he put $1,000 on my picks. I'm like, dude, don't tell me that. Why'd you do that? So and then we won. So hopefully we hit again tomorrow. But Barrios, Pacquiao, we could talk about Dubois. Chris, why do you think Dubois by knockout is the way to go? I mean, we could open that up. We could debate that one. Dubois over Usyk. You guys know all week I was kind of torn. What's up, Julius? To be honest, I see every fight on Dubois, Usyk, undercard, not going the distance. Just want to hear your thoughts. That Chop on Barrios pack. So here we'll get to it right now, Chop. Here's my input on Barrios Pacquiao. And like I said, I have a conversation going on Instagram with a guy from our channel about this, and then a big gambler on my WhatsApp group. And I just left him a message. I am not betting on Pacquiao and Barrios. I'm not betting on it. I'm staying away. I think over time, as you make money consistently gambling, you tend to kind of have an intuitive approach, or you have your own sort of boundaries on what you bet on and what you don't bet on. For me personally, Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios, I said this in my earlier live stream, it feels a little bit too much like a Jake Paul fight. I mean, logically, our reasoning, you got to go with the 30-year-old champion, right? But with Manny, I mean, he could come in steroided up to the gills. You know what I'm saying? Manny Pacquiao could be on all of the Mexican supplements, and commissions probably won't give a shit. You know, so like that in mind, you know, what are their intentions? I haven't really heard anybody from Manny's camp talking about intentions. What do they want with this fight? Do they, you know, why they pick? We know why they picked Barrios. They picked Barrios at 47. We went over the division at 47. It's one of the thinnest divisions. It's one of the thinnest divisions in boxing when you look from top to bottom. Even the top 10, so thin. So they picked Barrios. What does he want? Does he want a Floyd fight? And look, you know, hear me out. Let's say Manny wants a Floyd fight, which sounds insane. If he wants a Floyd fight, and Floyd somehow wants that fight, we know Floyd stays in shape, and we know the type of money that, you know, the promotional companies basically pull on our heartstrings as fans. This is the world we have to live in. We know that. I might let them do that to me as a fan, but I'm not going to let them do that to me as a bettor. So I'm not gambling on that fight. You know what I'm saying? Because there's just, you know, I don't know, man. I'm staying away from it. You tripping on all the drugs is crazy. What do you mean? I'm serious. I don't do any drugs. I'm just saying that, like, I could see Manny. I don't know. It doesn't feel right for me to gamble on it. I don't even know if I'm going to break it down. So Chop, there's my my opinion. Now, if we were coming at it from a logical perspective and I was overseeing, so my boxing whale, he was initially taking Barrios. He was taking Barrios. So he was taking Barrios, and I just gave him my insight, and I was like, look, mate, I'm not trying to talk you off of that ledge, but because logically we would take Barrios. You know, he's the 30-year-old. He's the champion. He's the younger guy. He's the bigger guy. He's not the 46-year-old we've seen knocked out unconscious before. He's not the 46-year-old with a 20-plus Hall of Fame career who's fought in multiple divisions. He's not the 46-year-old who once used to rely on athleticism and reflexes and speed, but got hit a lot throughout his career. He's not that guy. Barrios is the guy that should win. But there's too many weird variables. Just for the fight even to take place, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not happy about this fight. I'm not sitting back like, yay, Manny's coming back. Yes, we get this. No, dude, this is horse shit. I'm pissed about this fight. Think about all the guys at 47. Think about the people, fighters that, you know, are going about it. Nobody promotes. You know, they've devoted their whole goddamn life to it. And, you know, I get it. Manny gets to cut the line. So I'm not taking it. That just, and I told my buddy who was betting heavy on it, I was like, that's just my ethics. I don't bet on Jake Paul fights. I told you guys, I don't bet on domestic heavyweights. I don't bet on 46-year-olds coming out of retirement fighting for world titles. So that's it. No, he was taking Barrios. So Chop, great questions. He was taking Barrios on a parlay. So similar to my parlay that I posted in our group, my 4-leg parlay that I absolutely love, boys. It's only $1.61. So the parlay that I love at the moment for my locks. These aren't there's not a lot of value here, but 4 locks that I really like. I like Picasso. I like Picasso. I like Bam. I like these Picasso, Bam. I like Usyk and Diego. So on I have 4 locks: Usyk, Picasso, Bam, and Pacheco. He was going to put Barrios on it to fatten it up, but he was going to he was going to put like 10 on it, like 10K or like 15K on it, on Barrios to put. And look, I said that may be the case. Barrios should win that fight. Barrios should win that fight. But I'm not betting. The risk is too risky for me, the unknowns. So like I said, it's too Jake Paul adjacent, the matchup. You know what I'm saying? The fight just feels that way to me, so I'm staying away from it. Boxing fan, Julius. A lot of people are asking me about Lapins, but does he actually think Barrios wins? Yeah, he does. Chop. He thinks Barrios. Yeah, I think a lot of people think Barrios should win that fight. This must be another guy now because I didn't have Barrios on a parlay. No, not you, David. David, not you, mate. Come on. No. I got a lot of conversation. David, if it was you, I would say it. Nah, I got multiple conversations going on a daily basis, mate. You know who he is, though, David. You know him. He's definitely in the orbit. But yeah, this was part of a parlay. So Lappin, people like Lappin. What's up, History Vault? I feel like that Will is gonna drop 30 on bar. I think a lot of people are going to. I think it was David called last week why the Matias and Puello fight was kind of risky to bet on, and he kind of the Matias Puello fight was risky to bet on. Specifically, I obviously took Puello, but he was saying all week, even if it's a close fight, even if it goes to scorecards and Puello's up a couple rounds, they're going to give it to Matias. And so, Chop, just join the insider group on this channel. Chop, if you're on a laptop or a PC, just join this channel and you'll have access to everything. History Vault, Lappin is a lock. Boxing fan, my man's in the house. Yeah, so you guys think Lappin is a lock? I'm not arguing. I think so too. I think he beats Edmondson, guys. I think it's a fun fight. I think he beats Edmondson. You getting on the yeah. So Skeezy, I'm not getting any options for the method of victory. No Discord at the moment, boys. I'm trying to grow my insider group on YouTube. By the way, we have about 40 plus members so far on YouTube of our boxing insider group. I'm trying to grow that. I don't want to double charge you guys. I don't want you guys to support that here and then I have a Discord. So, but if you join the insider group here, you also get access to Instagram and email. Like I'm all over the shop right now. But this is our bread and butter. So I'm not getting Skeezy options on method of victories right now for Australia. Everything's on a money line. And Skeezy, I'm happy 5-1. I'm happy 5-1 money line going in Australia because you figure you put 100 on that 5-1, you get your money back plus 4. My buddy's probably gonna put $1,000 on it to win 5. So we'll see what happens. Has method of victory. All right, let's do this play-by-play real quick, boys. Guys, a lot. I live in Sydney, Australia. About 55% of you guys are from America, but the base is growing in Australia. So we're gonna give Australia some love real quick. We have fights tomorrow night in Sydney, and we're gonna go over. Skeezy. So David Niika, he's $1.06. Charlamopoulos was only stopped once, but I don't think they're in the same class. I know Niika is coming off of a tough loss to Opataya. He is a known finisher, and Jackson John England was talking about Niika's looking good. Clay Waterman. Like I'm not gonna get too fancy, boys. I'm not gonna get too fancy on the Australia card method of victory. I'm actually pretty. I like my the money line at 5-1. You know what I'm saying? But Skeezy, if you see something that you think that's like a guaranteed lock on a method of victory for tomorrow night, leave it in the group, guys. Wherever you're tuning in, we're getting it up right now. 15 minutes in. Let's like this video though. There's about 37 of you boys in here right now. Only 4 likes. Let's get those likes up. Definitely subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and let's get this conversation going. I uploaded Usyk versus Dubois, and you guys know since the start of the week, I was telling you guys that I was torn on it. I'm all in on Usyk. After watching the tape, I'm all in. Watching, I still think I'm still high on Dubois. The Joe Joyce loss, like I said, makes you scratch your head a bit. I will. Chop. It's coming. Jeff, do you think Gallon and Bill go? So Paul Gallon and Sonny Bill Williams is an 8-rounder. They're fighting 2-minute rounds, guys. So I mean, yesterday the draw was 7-1. The draw is now 12-1. I know some of the boys are sprinkling something on that draw. 8 2-minute rounds. Have you? Sonny Bill's a rugby player. Gallon's a rugby player. But when you watch Gallon box, Gallon looks like a boxer. I got to be honest with you. He's been in there with some good guys. He beat goddamn Big Daddy Lucas Brown, dude. That was the fight where I was watching Gallon fight, and I'm like, damn. I was like, Paul Gallon looks like a boxer. He puts, he's a rugby guy first, but, Big Daddy Lucas Brown was the first ever Australian heavyweight champion. Agree, Johnny, after thinking about myself. Same thing, History Vault. Me too, baby. Bet has 2 extra fights for tomorrow, too. That's sport. All right, Skeezy, I'm going to have to look into it. I'll look into it. Let me know who you like, Skeezy. How about you go to one of our posts on the page and you text or you add me on Instagram and I'll add you back and you can message me. So, boys, if you guys are on Instagram and you want to send me your tickets, I've been chatting a lot with a lot of you guys on Instagram. It's just my name. Tell me you're from YouTube because I know a lot of you guys have crazy tags here, and then on Instagram it'll be like Richard Smith. And I'm like, who the hell is Richard Smith? And I'm like, what's your name on YouTube? It'll be like, the dumb diddly dumb scrumptious. I'm like, what the hell? So anyway, if you go to Instagram and, follow me, you have to at least DM me and say, hey, I'm from your YouTube, and I'll follow you back. Because Instagram's the Wild West as well. I used to use it all for, I used to use it for fitness, so it's still filled with crazies on there. So anyway, if you want to send me the parlay, Skeezy, I could screenshot and repost it. You know what I mean? Some of your names are insane. But I got time for it. So let's see Usyk Dubois. So somebody sell me on how Dubois beats Usyk, and don't just say he knocks him out. Now, I've already bet on Usyk. I've already broken that fight down. I just think, man, that southpaw, he does so many things in there. He makes you look at so many different, looks. Did you see Manny's last? Yeah. Didn't look that good, Shop. Didn't look that good. If there's a draw tomorrow, your parlay dies. Yes, Jeff. On Sportsbet, it does. Because some of you guys have betting apps to where you guys are allowed to bet two-way betting, meaning that the draw doesn't kill you, but your odds either way aren't as good. The app I use forces you to do a three-way, win, lose, or draw. I think Barrios should be a lock too. No, I don't think it sounds crazy. Like I said, the only reason I'm not betting on that fight is just there's too many sort of variables that I don't like. I guess at my core, I'm a very sort of, I don't like the idea of him to just be able to come back and fight for a world title. I don't care. I don't like that idea. PJ, I think so. Hitting after the bell. Yeah, I've rewatched the Filip Hrgović fight. Like, not even though Triple D has 3 stoppages since he lost to Usyk, AJ, Hrgović, Jarrell, none of them were kind of. And we know Usyk is, 2 decisions against Fury. I just think Usyk's movement, his jab, what he does with his lead hand, he's always changing levels. He just knows how to operate and win rounds. So has his eye damage already suffered before he fought April? I mentioned it. Barrios eye. So you're saying that's going to be something that lingers the rest of his career. Usually damage here. David's jumping on Pacquiao. Huh. I'm staying away from that fight, boys. So you guys could talk each other into betting on Barrios and Pacquiao. I'm out. My hands are clean on that one. I'm taking Usyk. Let's build a little sneaky parlay real quick. So I do like this is not including Australia. I like Daniel Lappin. I like Daniel Lappin on the money line. I'm definitely staying away from Okoli and Lorena. That fight sucks to me. I like Gary Russell to come back after being gone for a decade, getting back in the winning ways. Obviously, I like Picasso, but I'm not going to put Picasso on another parlay. I think Max Sayo should get the job done against Queller. It'll be a fun fight. Max Sayo's a fun fighter. I heard some of you boys on a live stream talk. You guys don't like Arturo Cardenas? Guys, Arturo Cardenas is a dog. Popico, he's fighting Dominic Crowder, a guy who's like 17-0, 31 years old. But do your research on Cardenas. I've featured Cardenas on the channel before. And, I mean, he comes from a good camp. He's a strong and a young fighter, aggressive fighter. I like Card. So I'm taking on this little another money line parlay I'm building. I got Lappin, Russell, Magsayo. I like Cardenas. I'm generally a fan of watching Cardenas fight. Cardenas lost to Barrios and Archiga. That fight got canceled. Did it? Is that fight off the card, Cardenas? I'm staying away from the Figueroa Jowett fight. I never bet on Ammo Williams. I'm staying away from Ammo. If I'm betting Pitbull and Fierro, I like that fight to go the distance. So rather than just taking one of those guys, because Fierro's a 4-1 dog. Yeah, I just don't like betting on Ammo, guys. He's another one of those fighters. I don't want like Ammo's always gonna make you sweat it out, dude. He'll go life and death with like a lower guy, and he'll go life and death with a world champion. It's just the only way he knows. That's why his fans love him. I had him. I put money on him to beat Patrice, but I actually thought Patrice won that fight. He just after the Volney fight, he got added to my list of don't bet on him anymore because like there's certain guys. No, that like Ammo is yeah he's a fan favorite, but I'm not nothing against him. I'm not betting on him. If I could get method of victory for Pitbull versus Fierro, I like Pitbull. That fight to go the distance. I'm not getting. Are you guys even getting odds on Xander? I'm not getting any odds on Xander Zayas. I know he's fighting Chino, but maybe tomorrow they'll let me bet because I'm gonna break that fight down on my channel. Dwayne Styles, my man. Happy Monday, Tuesday. We're doing well, brother. Hopefully you are well too. VA. Just be honest, did that boxing Will actually end up playing Barrios officially? No, he didn't. He didn't, mate. He didn't. And I'm always honest, brother. What's up, Brandon? Didn't give me any bets for Belong on Saturday with FanDuel, dude. Just tuned in from church. Christchurch, my man. Gaz, what's up, buddy? You got some New Zealand. You got some Kiwi boys on the card tomorrow night, Gaz. Nieka's on the card. Even Nieka's opponent, I think, isn't Charlene Post from New Zealand as well. I think he's a Kiwi. There's some Kiwis on the card. I mean, hell, Sonny Bill Williams. he's main eventing. Cardenas, Arturo. (16-0). Oh, you guys thought he lost the. You thought he got okay. I was wondering what you were talking about. Xander. See that Xander versus I agree, guys. Xander versus Chino is a good fight. Those odds are pretty steep. I could see that fight going to the distance. If you guys are getting Xander versus Chino, if you're getting the odds, what do the odds say for the fight to go the distance? I mean, I learned watching Chino fight Charles Conwell. That dude could box, man, and I do like Xander. He's one of my favorite young prospects / contenders. You know, he keeps winning 154. You know, he's gonna be fighting for at least a title eliminator before it's said and done. Who you got, Dustin or Max? Interesting. I'm not a big Poirier fan, so Max. Yeah, I don't. I've watched both guys' entire career. I kind of have I know Dustin. You know, I know his coach, his strength coach, Phil Daru. You know, he's been on the channel before. When Phil used to be the head strength coach at American Top Team, and when he did his Australian sort of tour, this is pre-pandemic. I had him on my show. He came to my old gym. I don't know, man. I've never been a Dustin Poirier fan though. So there's just things about him outside the octagon, how he carries himself. I'm not a fan. I hope Max stops him, to be honest. I think McCumbee is underrated. What's up, 79 Pro? Change the name. Boxing Bets. Yeah. Yeah, History Vault. I think my move is going to be just Xander Garcia to go the distance. Same, Eister. Yeah, same. It's a great step up. So, guys, it doesn't happen all the time where we get like these awesome matchmaking step ups for really young contender slash prospect guys versus a veteran, and we're getting one with Zayas versus Chino Garcia. So that it's one of my It's one of my most of all the fights this weekend. It sounds pretty crazy to say, but that's the one I'm up there with. I'm most looking forward to because I want to see how Zayas handles Chino. Usyk, Picasso, Pacheco. Let's go. That's the one I'm... No! Stay away from Figueroa, blue collar. Keep it at those 4, baby. Keep it at those 4. Don't bet on Brandon Figueroa ever. Ever. Stay away from the Figueroas, boys. Stay away from Omar. Stay away from Brandon. Don't bet on them fools. These aren't your little brother Figueroas. This is a different version. You don't want them boys to ruin a parlay. Why would anyone think McCumbie's underrated? I don't think he's underrated. I said it on my first live stream that this is controversial. I never thought, and I'm not just saying this because he lost. I was saying even in the breakdown of Plant versus Resendez, I was saying even in my breakdown, even though I picked Plant to win, I was like, I think Plant is overrated. Plant, to me, Caleb Plant, I mean, his resume doesn't really jump off the page. He was never a guy that I thought, I mean, what's his best win? What's Caleb's best win? Darrell? Maybe? I don't know. I don't know. I've never, like, Plant looks good in these little moments. There's something about his conditioning, or I used to think that it wasn't his conditioning, and then watching him fight against Resendez, I'm like, is it his fight IQ? And then watching him against Resendez, I'm like, maybe he's just not that good. You know what I mean? Maybe Plant just was never, you know what I mean? He physically ticks off the boxes. You know, he physically kind of like, yeah, and the whole thing was always his stamina. But then watching him kind of operate with Resendez, I was like, maybe he just doesn't, he's not able to make these sort of adjustments. Maybe it's an IQ thing. I don't know. See, nobody was saying Plant was shit. I was never saying Caleb was shit. All I was saying was, I'll show you the receipts. All I was saying was, I don't think he's world class. That's all I ever said. I said, I was never sold on saying Caleb was world class. That's all I was saying. That doesn't mean he's shit. I never called him shit. I don't even know if I would say the word washed. But I just think that, you know, in this era, he never really was that guy for me jumping off the page. Especially, you know, at 68. But I know he has his fans. They're like Plant. Plant will have his fans, and his fans will tell you that he's one of the best in the world. I don't know. I was never sold on him. Well, I'm saying for me, I never thought Plant was like that. For me. Yeah, I took Resendez. Jesus Christ, you guys took Resendez? That's insane. Did you take Resendez because you logically took Resendez, or did you take Resendez because you don't like white fighters? I gotta say it. Don't be offended by that. But you know, in boxing, you know, cats will get lucky. You know, depending where you're from, if you don't like a white, if you never pick white boxers, and then you pick against the white guy, and then you say, "Oh, I told you." If that's your reason, that's bullshit. But if you really thought that Resendez was gonna come in and outmaneuver, outbox. Resendez looked like he was on something, by the way. We'll see. He didn't get his test results back yet. But anyway, Resendez is the same guy that got stopped by our boy. A lot of boxing fans confused the hell out of me because one of my boys on the channel, Elijah Garcia, who's only 21, 22 years old, I feature Elijah on the channel, and you guys start talking trash about Elijah. Elijah stops Resendez, and then all of a sudden, before Plant, you guys are saying Resendez was going to stop Plant? Come on, man. But if you pick Resendez because you don't like white fighters, then that's a whole different thing. Because I know a lot of American boxing fans are kind of racist about stuff like that. I'm definitely not one of them. You guys know that. But like I see like content creators, oh, that dude, you know, blah blah. And then like if it's an African American fighter versus a Mexican fighter, you always pick one side. And then if there's an upset, you get to say, "Ah, I told you it'd be an upset." But when in reality, it's because you only pick X fighter from this part of the world. So if you don't bring reasoning on why you pick Resendez, you got lucky, mate. Found Bam 5-8. Play it. PB cost me. Cachet beat Garcia. Cachet's always in some close barn burners. I like watching Terrell Cachet fight. I mean, he almost stopped Zoo. The LDBC doesn't think that way. You know what I'm saying? Elijah is good. I like Elijah. I couldn't believe all the hate when I broke an Elijah Garcia fight down. People were I was like, bro. I was like, you're a 50-year-old man talking trash about a 22-year-old kid. Walk the other way. One of the commenters on my channel before. We already go over Cafu and Bam. Yeah, what's up, Mike? Cafu, Bam. I think I'm gonna play a knockdown prop bet in that fight because the odds are insane. I do have Bam on the money line. Cafu has heart. He has spirit. He's aggressive. He's gonna be there to get hit. I'm not getting an option to take a knockdown prop, but I love Bam to the body. I mean, historically, one of the best body punchers in his era. And he seeks out the body too. There's certain body punchers, and you know Robert Garcia, those guys. There's certain guys who drill the body. There's certain guys who find body shots, and then there's certain guys who hunt out the body. And Bam does that. I like a knockdown in that fight. I want to bet Fierro. I'm betting Fierro Pitbull to go the distance. So, you know, once again, those odds are a bit too wide for me. Fierro's, I think, a 4-1 dog. I think the fight should be a bit closer on paper. We already saw them fight before. I don't think either guy stops either one. So I like Pitbull Fierro to go the distance. Right now, my book's not giving me that. So if I were to give you guys two method of victories right off jump, it's Pitbull Fierro to go the distance, and it's over 0.5 knockdowns for Bam versus Cafu. I really like that. I could definitely see a knockdown in that, just based off Bam's body work and Cafu's aggression. It's gonna be that's gonna be fireworks. That's a fun fight. But man, Pacheco doesn't stop McCumbie. He needs to get past in there. I mean, Pacheco's a young boy though, isn't he? 22, 23, 20. How old is he now? 24 maybe. Go to South Africa Boxing Channel. Cafu got Camp Daco out. No, I didn't see that doco, but I've watched. I know a little bit about Cafu. We get some South African pub down here in Australia. Now he's not coming to lose. It's kind of like I don't want to say it's exactly like Brian Norman Jr. versus Sasaki, but we saw that coming basically because of how proud Sasaki fights. Sasaki's a very proud fighter. Cafu is a very proud fighter. Brian could crack. Bam could crack. We hit huge on the knockdown props and the stoppages for Brian and the under 6. I forgot I hit that. Bam with the distance mold. I mean, you could say Bam with the distance. Bam's one of the best in the world, mate. Yeah, I could see a knockdown. Bam with the distance with Journeyman. So that's your reasoning for saying that I would definitely put Bam in my top 10 pound for pound, 100. And even if you're a boxing fan, watch how he boxes, mate. How could you not be a fan of his style too? Can you see upset? No way. I don't see Cafu beating him. I just don't see Cafu beating him. He's good, but he's not. Yeah, at that division, at 115 pounds, Bam. It's not just like I go, you go match. You guys know that. It's not going to be like I go, you go. It's not going to be like one punch. Bam does so many things. Yeah, his angles, his level changes, and when he starts cooking, what do the young boys say? When he's let him cook, we used to say when he starts going through the gears. So when you start seeing Bam methodically work his way into his rhythm and starts going down, down, up, down, up, opposite, right, left, like it's like, god damn, angle, hook to the head, angle, jab to the body, level change, angle, switch stance, jab, wrap. Like, this shit is insane, dude. Watching Bam operate, Jesus, it's a boxing, it's a joy to watch Bam operate. Change of hand speed, another good one. Yeah, A lot of guys punch at one speed. He changes it up. Yeah, he does a lot of great things. So, like I said, I don't see him losing to Cafu. Cafu's going to be tough. If you don't like that $1.08 money line, if there's not enough value for you, take a knockdown prop. I like a knockdown prop. Yeah, it's Afro. Go to BoxRec right now. It's some very disrespectful stuff right now. Because if you go to Bam's BoxRec, Puma's already scheduled in. Like, you usually see that at the domestic level. Like, you'll watch film tape on, like, a domestic guy. You'll go to the BoxRec, guy you never heard of, and you'll see they have 2 or 3 fights scheduled in. 1 month, 2 months. You rarely ever see that with world champions. Bam Rodriguez has that right now. Cafu, Puma. No, he is. I don't think anyone's doubting how impressive he is. I just think with Bam, we are looking at a future Hall of Famer, probably a 4-division world champion. I mean, 26 may be pushing it. But, like, he's gone from 12 to 15 to 18. I think he could win at 22. So, yeah, I think we're looking at a legit 4-division world champion Hall of Famer guy, talent in Bam Rodriguez. I do. I mean, and I don't think he's already 25. He's already shown us. Two-weight world champ already? Yeah. He didn't become a world champ at 108 though, did he? Wasn't it 112 his first world title? And he went from 12 to 15? I don't know. Junto. Well, Junto, that's a matchup made in heaven, mate. Junto, Inoue, Bam, Junto, Bam, Inoue. God damn, Junto versus Choo Carrington. Carrington fights this weekend. No one, I know, he might be a regional favorite, but I'm a huge fan of Bruce. Only because he put belt to ass against my boy Deadly Dan at Colwell. So whenever you beat one of my friends in a fight, it's kind of like how we grew up. If we get on a street fight and we go blows, we're probably gonna be friends for the rest of our lives. So if you fight one of my friends in a boxing match and you win, I become a fan. So there's a lot of fun matchups to think about for Bam and Junto. You doing a breakdown? Yeah, I am, Milda. I am gonna do Fedora Zoo. I'm still kind of torn on it. To me, the best boxer under 22 is Junto. I mean, is there really an argument with that one? You know what I'm saying? Will Cafu go the distance with PJ, I don't know, man. That's not the bet I'm taking. I'm not betting Cafu to go the distance. I'm just betting a knockdown prop. I have Bam on the money line. Ask somebody else to sell you on the decision, though. And like everything, guys, I'm not trying to sell you on anything. I'm just off the cuff telling you my instinct and what I see in the fights. I think the proper bet to make is over 0.5 knockdowns. Over, just hope there's a knockdown in Bam versus Cafu. Also, I have him on a money line going really heavy on a lock. So, yeah, over 7.5. Yeah, Dan is my boy, man. Such a good kid, good camp. BoxingScene.com is doing him dirty right now. But I'll let him tell that story. I would bet the over knockdown prop would be good too. Yeah, I'm waiting for them to open that knockdown prop up. I told you that. Like I said, I really like the distance for Chino versus Xander. David Jimenez versus Torres, Superfly on Sunday in Kyrgyzstan. Damn, Afro, we're getting obscure as hell out here, boy. Jimenez versus Torres in Kyrgyzstan. With all these fights going on, you got me going to Kyrgyzstan. No offense. What's her name? The goddamn... Isn't Valentina Shevchenko from Kyrgyzstan? Yeah, Charlie Zelenov. Come on, baby. I'm an old head. I know all about Charlie Z. Charlie Z was the OG Jake Paul. Before Jake Paul ran... Charlie Z walked so Jake Paul could run. That's what the comparison is, mate. If you had a Venn diagram, it would be Charlie Zelenov out here. He had a pro fight. Was it in an LA Fitness? Was that in an LA Fitness, mate? I don't ever bet on Lawrence Sicoli. Ever. Yeah, right. Never. Bet on Lawrence Okoli, dude. God damn. After seeing that performance against CBS, you out of your mind. I could be a petty bitch, dude, when it comes to my betting. All you gotta do is burn me once with a performance that looks a bit suspect. I'm never betting. Lawrence Okoli is on that list for me. Never bet on any of his fights. Juzmatov is on the cards. He had back Paris Middle School in Paris, Arkansas. So you're not playing around. Boxing Pro. You're not 79. You're not playing around. He really had a pro fight. Charlie Z, man, the big fella. He was stalking Kim K, I think, back in the day. Man, he was out here wild. They be getting it in Arkansas, don't they? Yeah, but Oakley, I'm just saying, dude, we could say, well, once again, I mean, are you going to bet on him, Julius? You going to take him? I'm not taking him. Against Verena? Isn't he fighting Kevin Verena? Kevin Lorena? Hell no, I ain't betting on that dude. There's no way. Lorena's tough as nails, too. Jonesboro stand up. Meth lab in the back with the crack smoking pills like the early morning fog. Daddy's in the starter house chopping up that early morning. Stood up in my crimson tide Alabama sweatpants and threw my pillow. Looks like daddy caught the motherfucker who tried to sneak in and steal his elbows. They don't know that old man don't hold hands and throw hands. Nah, he's rough like a Brillo. Went to the shetty and pulled out a machete and a gun as tall as the midget Willow. Think you playing? Don't make me go drop. Oh, you. Oh, that's Alabama. I get mixed up between Alabama and Arkansas. No offense. Can you see upset for Joet Gonzalez? Boys, I don't bet on Brandon Figueroa. I don't bet on that fight. I'm not betting on that fight. Guess you picked it up. Well, I thought they were from Alabama, but it's Arkansas. That's the only reason I dropped the Yellow Wolf on them. Good pickup though, guys. That's when Yellow Wolf was a rapper. Kind of like, yeah. Yeah, I get mixed up with my southern states, Arkansas or Alabama. Bama. But yeah, back to the parlay, boy. I like Lappin on the money line, Gary Russell, Mark McSile, Arturo Cardenas. Guys, that's already at $1.92. I like that. That's another one I'm going to lock up. That's a 4-leg. 100 gets you your money back plus 92 bucks. I've seen some people going the other way with Figueroa. People are taking Joet, but I'm not betting on that fight. Guys, you don't have to bet on every fight, boys. I don't like what Figueroa looked like against Fulton in his last fight. He came out and had a stinker and then retired, and then he came out and did a video. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me to ever, I will never bet on Brandon Figueroa again. Ever. For him to lay a goddamn egg against Fulton, retire, and then go on Instagram and do an apology video to his fans? What are you talking about? You're supposed to be a world-class fighter, former world champion, super talented, and you're apologizing to your fans and the people who bet on you because you just didn't show up, and now you're going to retire, and now all of a sudden you're fighting Joet? I'm good. I ain't messing with you no more. I ain't messing with you. But I'm the type of dude, and like, you know, you guys have some friends growing up, you know, they go in and out of relationships, and, you know, they're in this toxic relationship, and your buddy and the girl, they break up, and then he always gets back with the girl. I'm not that dude. I've never once gone out of a relationship and then saw the same girl again. Yes, dude. Right after that fight. Right after the fight, he said he was done boxing. Right after the fight. It happened right after the fight. I've covered that fight. That's why I remember it like that. I was like, I'm never betting on him ever again. Ever again. He's a liability. He said he was retired. He said he wasn't going to fight again. We're talking about Brandon Figueroa after his Fulton fight. He's fighting Joet. He looked awful. And wasn't Fulton coming off a loss? Fulton, Fulton went viral for wearing the Timbs. He had the Timbs on and then got like a Timberland deal, if my memory serves me correctly. Tailor made for the Heartbreaker, probably. Pacheco, McCombie. Pacheco wins that fight. Just like I don't bet on 154. Yeah. See, we all have our thing. See, we all have our thing, buddy. Who was worse, Figueroa or Matisse? Are you talking about Thomas Matisse versus Ray Ford? That was the same card, wasn't it? If that's what we're talking about. The Gunner Man. Fulton beat him already, though. You should have known. Yeah, but at the same time, when you're looking at where the fighters were trending going into that fight, I knew it was only a matter of time before we got a comment like GC. Yo, Brandon's sister, though. What about Brandon's sister, though? Fulton fighting styles on Mars and Joe Styles on Saturn. Dude, Pacheco get the knockout. Yeah, Nova's stepping into phase 4. I put that in the group. Abraham Nova. Decent fight. I still would have rather, I want to see what Kakachi would look like. Or what Ford would look like against Kakachi. Raymond Ford to me still is kind of a... I'm still not sold on him. I like how he's made adjustments in terms of what he looks like on fight night, his fight style. He's obviously made a more sort of offensively minded approach to his game plan. But that being said, I was actually probably going to lean on Kakachi to beat Ford. I said that earlier. So I had Ford beating Matisse, but I'm not 100% sold on Ford either. Oh, you're going on all the Brits. Yeah, Cordina, Warren. Cordina didn't look that bad. Kakachi could fight. Ford is a small 130. Yeah, 26. You think Nova's getting stopped? Yeah, let's turn on him. Screen chat by joining. My man, boxing fan, let's go. Why do you people? I don't know. Why do you think McCombie's going to go the distance with Pacheco? I think this is just recency bias. You know what I'm saying? Think about the role virality plays in our memory. To answer your question, David, I think because the boxing fans remember the exchanges McCombie had with Plant. They remember McCombie dropping Plant stopping McCombie. But at the end of the day, Plant had to go life or death with McCombie. You know what I mean? And at the time, that looked like a good loss. So I think if you're still holding Caleb up to that high regard and you still feel that that's a good loss for McCombie, then maybe I could see why people think that he's going to be competitive against Pacheco. McCombie is a grown-ass man. I don't know if McCombie's ever busted before or ever popped before, but McCombie's physique kind of ticks all the boxes when you're thinking about somebody who might pop for something. And Diego is still a young dude growing into his physical frame. He doesn't really even have that man face yet. He still looks like a little boy. So he's young. He's still figuring out his style. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't think it's that far crazy to see McCombie being really competitive there. Yeah, okay. There you go. I didn't know. Yeah, I guess he did. He ticks all the boxes for me. Look at that fool. You ever see McCombie with the shirt peeled? He looks like he's getting ready to do a fucking bodybuilding competition. He gets his body waxed and shaved like he's getting on stage with not like Jay Cutler bodybuilding though, like the type where they wear board shorts and they don't do quads. They don't have calves, so they just go from the waist up. That's what McCombie reminds me of. But Pacheco for the hype, for when Pacheco puts his punches together, dude, and his speed and what he could offer, he should stop him. But he started fading against Nelson. He's still young though. We'll see. Steven Nelson was giving him a go at the end. I feel like when Steven Nelson watches that fight again, Nelson probably regrets not sort of turning up the volume earlier. He waited kind of to the 9th round to kind of get going a bit. And by then, the fight was already away from him. But in the heated exchanges in rounds 10, 11, and 12, I thought Nelson was getting the better of Pacheco. See, that's another thing. You got to think about them steroids. But yeah, the fire. But McCumbee, those fireman handlebars boxing fan are new. You know, that's only go if you look a couple years back. He used to have a clean cut look. It'd be like me with no facial hair. Imagine McCumbee with my face, like. Yeah, he had no facial hair. He was fucking getting ready to go on stage, doing his fucking bodybuilding gear, boxing. So like that whole mustache optic, and now he wears the cowboy hat. Man, I ain't sold on it. I mean, he's a fun character. If McCumbee was a little bit better, I would compare him to kind of Colby Covington. But Colby Covington is a dog, just out of his, you know. Colby Covington has some of the best wrestling, you know, coming out of the Pacific Northwest. But Covington's character, I mean, like he was playing a character, and that's kind of how McCumbee reminds me of. I don't think he's that authentic of being the guy that he wants to be. I mean, every boxer's tough. You know what I mean? Yeah, McCumbee Berlanga would be comedy, mate. McCumbee Berlanga would be comedy, bro. I think that's a good call, actually. I'm here for it. That's why I say guys like Berlanga are good for the sport. You know, not everybody has to be a Hall of Fame world champion. You know what I mean? There's certain guys, like, I'll tune in. Shit, I'm going tomorrow to see 2 rugby guys box. Paul Gallen. I'm going tomorrow. And that fight's at 10 p.m., dude. I'm in bed by 9 p.m. every night, by the way. Yeah, he's cool. He's silky, you know? He's playing a character. He got a lot of fans. You know, it's always good as a boxer when you can get knocked out and gain fans. That says something about you in a good way, and I mean that. So, I mean, we're talking about him right now. I got to be honest with you. Even though he had that little undefeated record, I had to do film study when he got signed to fight Caleb. I was like, who? McCumbee? Who this dude? So, yeah. But we know him now. I mean, at least in America, he's a household name. There's always room. But yeah, just like we were discussing the other day, a guy like Mayorga. Smoking cigarettes, crack. Who? Right? I'm just being honest with you boys. He should have headlined a country box car. Country box? What's that? Country boot gang. Do you guys follow the Redneck Boxing on Instagram? That's what I mean. He plays that country role. Well, Arizona, dude, I lived in Nevada. Arizona has cowboys. What are you talking about? My boys lived in Prescott. They rode horses, and I have friends who live in Prescott, Arizona. They ride horses. They have bootstraps, and they wear cowboy hats. In Nevada, the bordering state is the rodeo state. People only think Nevada as Vegas, but yeah, those are legit cowboys who are tending to their farms. So it makes sense in Arizona that he's a cowboy. Smoked cigarettes, crack, drank. Probably was with the Prozzies. You know, he was out on the. He was whoring. So, oh, God. I'm about to go on a little side story, but I'm going to keep it to myself this time. Mark my words. Boxing bet. You keep talking in directives like this. Mark my words. This fight is not going to cakewalk. No, I think it's going to be tough, bro. I'm not arguing that. Cowboys are a big thing in North Mexico, too. Yes, of course, mate. Isn't this vaquero? What's the translation of vaquero? Navarrete's nickname, Vaquero. Isn't that cowboy? Andoni Gago, Carlos Belcast. Damn, Han Hirschval, you're out here throwing these. Man, in my head, I'm thinking about, like, Barrios versus Pac. Bam, you're out here. What about, what about, who are those guys? Go ask again. I'm a big fan of both boys. I'm here for Thurman and Raleigh. I'm here for Thurman and Raleigh, mate. That's why I wish that with the advancement of AI or sort of like all of these technologies, that Spanish-speaking fighters, we should have some sort of translator in real time so we could see their character and their personality in English. Because, I mean, there was a dude who came down here to fight Sam Goodman. In Sam Goodman's last fight, he fought a guy named Cesar Vaca, who was Mexican. And Caesar Vaca comes down here and does his media, and he has the MS-13 tattoos here, right? And he's just, you could just tell the dude is filled with charisma and filled with like swag. Growing up, we would call it swag. You guys call it something else now. But because he didn't speak English, you know, the Aussie fan base didn't really, you know, the English speaking fan base, you really kind of miss out on that. And so there's a lot of Spanish speaking fighters and fighters from all around the world who don't speak English that, you know, I kind of think to myself, damn, the sport would even be bigger than it even is internationally if we didn't have language barriers, is my point. Because even when, you know, you have a guy like Canelo who is learning how to speak English, we all English speaking fans only know that personality from Canelo. But his Mexican fans who speak Spanish or people who know Canelo know a whole different side, know a whole different version of him, a personality version. You know what I mean? Yeah, Riz, come on, mate. Sam Goodman's gonna box off Nick Ball. Look, man, I think a guy like Sam Goodman is a really good boxer. I think he has a lot of skills. I just think that a kid, like Sam, who goes from 22 to 26, who has no pop at 22, and I don't think that's shocking to say. No pop at 22, goes to 26. I think Nick Ball's style alone, that sort of downhill, like snowball style. It's like I grew up in the snow in Ohio. You're building a snowman, and you know you start rolling it down the hill. I think that style, Nick Ball alone, is going to be too much for Sam Goodman, just because Goodman doesn't have power. Now, if Sam had, I don't even know if Sam has decent enough power to get Ball's respect in taking a step back. So that might be food for Ball. And you gotta feel for Goodman though. Now Goodman can box. You just gotta feel for him not being able to get that anyway fight. And who the hell is Sam Goodman's handlers, mate? A week out of the biggest fight, a week out of one of the biggest fights in Australian boxing, you're sparring, and your guy gets a cut. Come on, dude. Jesus. Dude, I got to be honest with you, man. Some of the decision-making going on in the Aussie camps lately make you scratch your head. Round 2, going into round 3 of obviously Zufandora. You know, they could have easily taken the no contest. Tim could have kept his belt. He wouldn't have had to fight Murtazaev. That's one. Sam Goodman sparring a week out of Inoue and getting cut. What are we doing? What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Do I think Pac? Yes. I think Pac, guys, I think Pac was juicing his entire career. I don't even think that, look, if you're getting offended by me saying that, you guys need to do your research. I think Manny Pacquiao was on steroids his entire career. And I'm not the only one. People have spoken out about this. Guys, boxers, coaches, trainers, they know what Freddie was up to. You don't just go up. I mean, what did Manny start at, 108? He started at 108, I think, and ended up going all the way up to, you know, what weight class did he fight? Fucking, where did him and Floyd fight at? What's up, Carlos? I mean, I didn't even think that it was an issue. I thought everybody knew Pacquiao was on the gear. But I mean, Shane got caught doing it. Dude, Canelo, they all get caught doing it. This is boxing. It's dirty. Yeah, he doesn't want to talk about it. The dude's whole facial structure changed, dude. What Manny was on, I think, was human growth hormone. So there's difference with PEDs. PEDs are this blanket term for performance enhancers. We know that. But a lot of guys think that steroids are what you see like bodybuilders take. They're taking like exogenous testosterone. They're taking like horse supplements like Equipoise, Phenoplex. They're taking things like Sustanon. These are like the old school like weightlifting, big old Ronnie Coleman, Arnold Schwarzenegger steroids. But then you have PEDs like Lance Armstrong, who was taking EPO, which is blood doping, basically blood transfusing, replacing fucking blood and oxygen into your bloodstream to recover and circulatory sort of stuff. And then there's with Pacquiao, then you have HGH, which literally changes your bone structure. HGH, human growth hormone, changes the density in your chin, in your head. It's what look what Joe Rogan's caveman ass looks like. YouTube Joe Rogan when he was a comic in the 90s. Smaller dude, black hair, little dude. Now you look at him, his head's like that big. And they all look like this. So, yeah, Bonds, McGuire. That was the good shit, boys. The boys were on the good shit. Pacquiao, definitely on the good. TRT, boy. Vitor Belfort. Dude, there was a time in the UFC where it was legal. If you got your testosterone checked and it was under, this was the insane bit. There was a time in the UFC where you could go get your testosterone levels checked, and these guys were getting their levels tested at 27 years old, and they'd have the test levels of a 54-year-old because they've been doing the gear since they were 17. And the doctors were like, oh, your test levels are low? Let's get you on some TRT. And then you see, like, check out, I already said Vitor Belfort, but check out my guy from the Netherlands, the big Dutch kickboxer. When he first came into MMA, he fought at 170 pounds, and then he ended up, God damn it. Shit. Can't think. Yeah, Alistair Overeem. Dude, one of the craziest physical transformations in MMA. Overeem from when he was at 170 Dutch kickboxing to when he was fighting at fucking neck through here. Insane. Belfort's on that list. I mean, come on. Yoel Romero. I know people like to say Yoel was natty, but come on, dude. Yoel Romero was absolutely juiced to the freaking everything. It was insane. There's some PD. Yeah, the PED Hall of Fame. My only beef with Brock is that you could find pictures of Brock. You can find pictures of Brock when he was in high school, mate, and he was a massive unit. But obviously, you take that physique and then you build on it, and that's what the boys do. I still think Brock, watching what was his name? God damn, my brain's slipping. Yoel. Yeah, Yoel is just out of his mind, dude. LeBron's obvious. I don't know, mate. I'm gonna say no on that one. Julius, I'm gonna say no on the LeBron one. I'm a Northeast Ohio boy. LeBron brought us our championship. LeBron is the king where I come from. Brock might be natty. Brock, yeah, I don't know, man. Brock in the WWE, dude? Jesus. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he was naturally a big dude, but I think he might have added to it. Who was, yeah, Overeem versus Lesnar Wayne was insane. No way. I'm 43, baby. I'm not getting on TRT yet. I'm still waking up with erections. My energy's through the roof. 43 years old. I'm gonna ride this natty train out until the wheels fall off. When I start waking up and my boy don't work, and I have no energy and all that good stuff, then I might go to the doc to check out my T levels. But right now, baby, I'm fine. It's all about that boy. That's the gauge, boys. The gauge for if we're fine or not is if that boy works. Hey, Johnny was researching ammo. I think he might get stopped. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't really bet on Ammo Williams though. Guys, it's getting crazy up here. It's 1:30, boys. I got a deadlift, so I haven't lifted yet today. I had a long day. I had a new online client. He was from Cleveland, and he kind of took the spot online where I usually train myself. So it's 1:30. I'm gonna go work out. This is my second live stream of the day. I just uploaded Usyk versus Dubois, my prediction. I want to know you guys. Your opinion on it. Yeah, man. By nature, man, comedy is my favorite. But if you haven't subscribed, do that. Like this video. 62 people, 23 likes is depressing. You guys are depressing, actually. Can't believe there's 62 and only 23 likes. I thought you guys liked me more than that. Also, go to your PC or your laptop. Join our Johnny Says Boxing Insider group. It'll help me out a lot. I'm uploading Zoo vs. Fundora tomorrow, as well as Xander Zayas versus Chino. I'm going to the fights tomorrow night in Sydney. Let's get this money. I put a 4-leg lock already in our group, and I'm putting my Method of Victory lock